Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the finals of the Alt StarCraft Novice Arena. It's going to start on GSL's Belshire Beach Winter Edition, so prepare to be blinded. So, starting off in the right-hand spawn position, we have the Yellow Terran, Riley, who just defeated the Protoss Helios in 2 games. And spawning in the opposite position, we have Dragon, who, I can't remember who he defeated. It's been so long ago. I think he also defeated, he defeated another Protoss to get here as well. So both defeated Protosses to get here. And on the line with me, we have the wonderful and incredible, and give me a round of applause, everyone. This is Knack. How you doing, Knack?
Doing real well, Lenjax. Thanks for the intro. My goodness. Doesn't get better than that.
But man, what can I say? You run the show here most of the time, so you deserve the intro. So, TVC, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen here?
I'll tell you, I'd love to see some T-Rax aggression with some bunkering. I think it's really smart play. It's so easy to transition in and out of. You can macro up behind it the entire time. You never have to stop, SCV production. I think is one of my favorite plays coming out of Terran these days at high levels, and is so easy to pull off at low levels. So I'd like to see something like that. You generally need to put down a proxy, but we see the early SCV headed out. We'll see if there's going to be something like that. But Dragon at 15 supply appears to be going fast expand, and I think playing standard here and getting good scouting out for Zerg is what's key early game.
Because anything, a Terran, it can be deadly on smaller maps like this, and this map is fairly small in all regards. So a Zerg is going to want to get as much scouted as possible, and he actually did manage to grab himself into the base because the supply depot was raised. I'd like to see, well, we can't get him out now, can he? Oh, yeah, he can. There's still space.
He didn't wall it off correctly, yeah. He needed to push these over just a little bit to wall this off tight, but it's okay. He's got his gas going down, however, so it's not going to be a 2-Rax play, and putting down a bunker now to complete the wall off there is not a bad idea. But honestly, I think that T-Rax pressure is something that the lower level players really need to learn. It does require a little bit of micro, but it's not undoable. It's not, not doable. It's really quite easy to get done.
So, still no gas out of Dragon, but his spawning pool is nearing completion, and so it doesn't look like we're going to see any quick speed lane, that's for sure, but
yeah, well, I mean, I like this play. It's definitely an economic build. Taking that fast expand, going to macro up pretty hardcore. You'll probably see him toss down two gas in the main at the same time here in just a few moments, maybe 30 seconds or so. And yeah, and it's a nice play, and then he'll start to choose tech based on some scouting. So he's got that Overlord in position here. Dragon's setting himself up, doing the right things here. Now we'll see if he's going to be able to pull this off. The way that a pro would, but so far I'd say his early game is really, really solid. I would like to see him move in for that scout right around the 5-minute mark, 5.5 at latest, and check out what's going on. And in Riley's base, he's going to see, well, guess what? A factory going down, double gas, and I half expect to see some Banshees come out here in just a little while. Now that second gas was late for Riley NJX, so Cloak is probably not going to be much of an option at this point, but is still doable potentially. We'll see.
Well, this is also a little play, so things happen, timings get thrown off for both sides, and what you would normally see earlier in a higher league game, you can see later in a lower league game, just because both players are not that experienced in the game, and they're not perfect on their timings.
Right. Look at this, 5.5 minutes in. See, Dragon's reading forums, Dragon's reading Team Liquid, he's getting training from people online and stuff like that. He's starting to understand the game, but this is perfect scouting time from Dragon. And he sees the tech lab. So notice that Riley is not going for the starport, but going straight into tank play, siege tank play. But Dragon sacking that Overlord there does supply block him, which is something that you don't want to let happen if you're going to purposely sack an Overlord. You always want to have produced already that second Overlord to make up the difference there.
Well, it was a bit worthwhile because you did see the factory and you did see that tech lab spinning. So
oh yeah, I don't doubt its worthfulness. It's worthwhile, but I guess what I mean is if you're going to sack an Overlord, you're doing it purposefully. You should go ahead and already have extra supply in place so you don't get supply blocked.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we have 2 base, both gases taken. Might we see some mutas?
Could be. He could be rushing right into Mutalisks. I like that play. Quite honestly, at low level of play, I think it's very easy for them to, to catch their opponent off guard. Slow reaction times means that they're going to get extra damage done at the mineral lines. You probably won't see them scouting it quite as often, so that means you're probably not going to run into, guess what? A lot of missile turrets, and that's always a nice play, and a nice deal for the Mutalisks at this point. But yeah, we do have the lair going down as well as Zergling Speed now coming out. A little bit late still on the Zergling Speed. Should have got that a little bit sooner. But all in all, I'd say great play here from Dragon.
We got 2 extra queens out right now, and that's great for the creep spread. And I actually like that Dragon is doing a little bit of focusing on that. That's great.
Yeah, creep spread on this map.
So much.
Yeah, it's so important on this map too because, I mean, while it is a relatively small map, the rush distance here is actually pretty long because that large block in the center, it does force you to kind of take a roundabout path there. And it's a long rush distance, so getting those lings or whatever you're using out across the map is very key. Notice we've got a Baneling nest going down here for Dragon, and the lair is about to be complete, and I half expect to see that the Spire go down.
Might be a little bit of a Baneling muta here going on.
Yep.
And there goes the Spire. So we're going to see some mutas, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, mutas!
Well, I mean, this just speaks to the strength here of Dragon moving forward. Look at his supply count, 72 supply. While, yes, it is very easy to get a high supply count if you're droning up super hardcore early game and then following it up with a whole bunch of lings. Easy, yeah, to get your supply count up. But still, I mean, he's showing a lot of strength in that regard. Taking a macro hatch here is a smart idea. Probably going to see him go ahead and take an expansion in just a little while as well, especially since Riley's not putting any pressure on and still just on the 1 base. Yes, we've got a command center in the back of the main here, but oh man, this is so behind. It's really quite behind. And to the tune of, well, Riley is now going to be in this position where he's just got to do extra things to start to make up the gap that he's created for himself.
Indeed. And we have a macro hatch down for Dragon. Like I said before, macro hatches are a good idea if you have extra minerals because it allows you to get more units out quicker because you have the extra larva. Right. Good idea, Dragon. I like it very, very much. And we have a 3rd coming down for Dragon as well.
Well, and this isn't even greedy. I mean, this is in perfect time. He's putting it down 1 minute early. But he has not had not one single attack from Riley. And so this is perfect, I think, to go ahead and, well, if he's not going to attack me, well, I'm going to expand. This is what Zerg need to be doing. Macro, 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 macro. Get an undying economy and then just smash through your opponent versus Terran. It's a great way to play against Tank Marine, especially if they're going to take it slow, take their expansions low like we see from Riley at this point. I mean, this is 11 minutes and 15 seconds in, and we still don't even have SCVs transferred out there. And check the units tab. 25. Riley doesn't even need an expansion right now because 25 is the perfect number for 1 expansion. 1. So, I mean, taking this expansion does nothing except for relieve pressure in the main, but not even that because, well, guess what? There was no SCV transfer. So this is a tough situation for Riley. That's one thing that Riley's going to want to remedy in future games is that if you're going to take an expansion, be prepared to have it saturated right away. You don't want to come into it with no extra SCVs while you're producing your orbital command or whatever. You need to be producing SCVs so that you're ready for that SCV transfer. Make it worthwhile immediately, just like that. And that is going to hurt Riley. 54 supply to 121. Need I say more at this point? You know what I mean?
Indeed, we have 12 Mutalisks out and a bunker wall that would, stop any ground units. But with the Mutalisks that are out, I just don't think it's going to be effective.
Well, look, I mean, we've got 1 missile turret down. It wasn't even the supply line. If you're going to put one missile turret down, you always put it in your mineral lines. But here comes your mutas, and look at this. They're ripping through these SCVs, and this is the entire economy of Riley. Riley should GG here.
Indeed, considering his 25 SCVs is now down to 8, 7. 6.
Yep.
Slowly dropping, and he's not even responding with his units. My goodness, he's just responding now.
Well, with tanks, but tanks don't shoot up, and see, this is the problem. Is Riley gets caught off guard here by these units and doesn't know what to do, and gets a little flustered, and that's a problem at low levels. Is, oh, what do I do now? What do I do in this scenario? And Dragon, the cool thing about Dragon is you can tell that he's been studying his builds. You can tell that he's tried to figure out timings and things like that, and that's important research to be doing, and it's paid off, I think, in a very big way here in game number 1.
Indeed. Well, GG to Dragon. Very well played on his part. That creep spread at the end was very, very lovely, might I add.
Oh yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have game 2 coming up for you for the finals of the Alt StarCraft Novice Division. See you in the next game.